Carlton Complex in 2014 here in Pateros. It hit Pateros. We lost over 150 homes in the school district. We had 2 to 4 students in every single class, K through 12, that lost their homes, and a fifth of our staff of teachers here at the school. It hit this area so hard. I had a very different vision of how these disasters got dealt with. I did not realize what the load is on the local pieces, the local people. It really is their recovery and their plan and their execution of that plan. I think in 2014, because we had not seen this kind of fire in Washington State. I mean, it had been a while since we'd seen a really, really huge that with that kind of damage. And now it's becoming common. It is the norm. We've gone half of the 6 years with this kind of damages, and we cannot continue. It is not the same. We are a different season. For us as volunteer firefighters, we don't know when a call is going to come out where it's going to be extreme fire danger in wildland throughout the year. I mean, we had fires that started, I think we even had one in January, but they start in March and they end in November. I mean, we used to think, okay, we got till halfway through June and then we can go through September. We're good. We're not, that is not the reality of it anymore. And we have to look at something totally different. We have to fund it totally different. We have to staff it different. We can make a difference here, but it's going to take a massive effort to do so. It requires every single person on a personal level making an action plan for their home. And people need to see and understand what these fires look like, because they are not the same. They are not a defendable fire in some of these cases. You know, when you get into that piece where you say, this is a once in a lifetime fire, this is, you know, I'm not going to see that again in my lifetime. And then we go the next year, and then we go to 2020 and we see it again. And that's 3 out of 6 years. And you throw in COVID, we've been in disaster recovery for the entire 6 years. Recovery takes time. And we were just finishing our last rebuild house on the reservation from 2015. And those volunteers had to go through smoke Labor Day weekend of this fire to get out of here. The first couple nights, I drove at 1:30 in the morning, drove through Pateros Parks and Brewster Parks, and there was nearly 400 cars, people staying in their cars. We cannot be spending all of our time recovering. We have to be proactive and make something happen on the forefront. This is a system where when you lose everything, it is so difficult to come back from. I got to visit Malden and see that community and those folks in some town meetings at the early stages, and they are strong enough to do this. They're gonna make this happen. There may be some logistical differences, but in the end, it really is the same trauma, the same situation, and the same ending. And so you have winners. You have winning where families are put back together, where people are starting to rebuild homes and get excited about them. At the same time, on the flip side, I understand that it's never going to be their same house. They never will feel the same. Everything will be based on before the fire and after the fire. I have all the hope and all the belief that Malden is going to do so well in this recovery. But it still hurts, it's still pain, and you can celebrate those wins, but there's still the hard work around it. We've had huge successes, and if we can prevent any families in the future from having this kind of stress and pain, it would be so worth it. We've got to do it different, because we need that. We've seen huge changes in the discussion around wildfire, in the allocation of funds, in the programming of resiliency, and the programming of fire changes, those have to continue. We cannot think that we've thrown something at it and we're good. We cannot think of it as a moment in time and an expenditure of effort in time. This is our new norm, our new life. And frankly, that first visit I had over at Olympia, and I was walking across campus there by the Capitol building, and somebody, an aide, yelled over to another aide and said, "Are we pro-wildfire today or anti-wildfire today?" It was the most offensive comment that I had heard. And I literally went into tears and I said, these people have never seen what's happening over here. Representatives from the other side of the mountains need to come over here and see it for themselves. They need to come see what truly is happening here, because it's going to happen over there. We need to find multiple ways to do it. It is not going to be just cleaning forest floors or just throwing more money at firefighters or just pilot programs with fire adapted communities or recovery plans that help with mitigation. It's going to take all of it. All of it. And we have to make a commitment here, or we're going to have communities, we're going to continue to be paying out on communities that then can't support themselves and can't recover, because we're going to be so saturated that we are not going to be able to handle the load. And if we're going to continue the trends of the last 6 years, it's appalling to me that people can't see it. They can't see it. And part of the reason they can't see it is because they haven't come over here and driven it and applied it to them. We are so good at saying, it's not going to happen to me. Well, we can't keep saying that. We have to do it now. People don't see the urgency. And it's urgent.